Hello everybody, it's Rex here, and on this show you can see my custom-built King Ghidorah as well as my custom-built Godzilla, and today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to build King Ghidorah there, and I'm going to give a quick shout-out to Verson Resident. Hopefully I said your name there right. Sorry, I'm pretty bad at names. But shout out to you for suggesting a tutorial on how to build this King Ghidorah. So let's get him down off the shelf and I'll show you how you can build your very own King Ghidorah. So first, before we get into all the tutorial on this guy, this tutorial will be a little different than other tutorials just because how this is built. And I'm going to show the different sets that you will need for this build. You'll need the Star Wars General Grievous, the Lego Chima Crocodile, and the Lego Chima Gorilla. The gorilla is for the big plate here. The crocodile heads are these heads, of course. And you'll need the big body of Grievous for the main body here. Now, this is a little different than a regular tutorial because I'm not going to show how to the whole build of this. What I'm going to show you is how you're going to build it. I hope that makes sense. But pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to build. I'll get in here in depth to show you exactly what you're going to be doing when you do this. But you want to start by, once you get the General Grievous, is build the General Grievous. Build him. Because you're not going to change a whole lot once you build General Grievous. Because the whole leg structure is fine, is perfect. The body up here is pretty much exactly how you want it. And the attach point down here for the tail is already there on Grievous as well. So there's not a whole lot you can be doing in that area. But there are going to be a few different things changed up in that, which I will be showing you on how to do that, as well as getting the three heads shaped up here. And there will be a few more pieces you will need to build this guy that you're just going to have to get, like these tight pieces here. I'll be going in depth on that stuff as well. But first, just to show you how overall big this guy will be when you build this guy. So if I bring up this ruler here, he stands at 14 inches, and if you bring his head all the way up, he's about almost 19 inches at the width. You can't even see it on screen because that's how long he can stretch out his neck. And his wingspan on this guy is massive as well, going off the screen once again. And actually, I haven't measured his wing in a while, so let's check that out really quickly. And his wingspan is about 20 inches long. So this is a very big King Ghidorah, and I built him to be in scale for my Godzilla, so that, you know, they could be in scale with each other. So with that out of the way, I'm going to get him on the table, my craft table here, tear some of the parts off him, and then show you exactly what you're going to be doing with that General Grievous and those other parts to get him all assembled here. And for the gold, this is just regular, well, this is just spray paint gold. It's not anything special, really. I just found some spray paint gold, painted him gold, and that's how I got that. The eyes, I'll show that up closer. These bits, I'll show up that closer. And so with that out of the way, let's get him onto the crafting table, and I'll show you exactly what you'll be doing once you get to, after you build the General Grievous. Alright? Unless you don't have a General Grievous. If you do have a General Grievous, I do recommend buying another one, because then you'll have extra parts, you know, that you'll definitely need. Unless you already have a bunch of these new binaural pieces, then you should be fine to go. So let's get him on, again, onto the crafting table and take a closer look. Alright, so here we have General Grievous' leg here, alright? And this is pretty much exactly the same from the Grievous build. There are slight differences. These two claws are added onto the back, which are not on General Grievous, so you'll need two extra claws here, so you'll put those on. Also, the bit of difference is that there's this piece here, where on General Grievous there isn't one, so you need to put one here. And up in this area, you can definitely see the change up here, is that the attach point is here, is now got these planks on it. And what this has actually happened here is this bit here has been spun around. So pretty much what you're going to do with this is you're going to just pretty much swap it. So it's originally like this on the build, like that, but you're going to just pretty much swap that so it's facing the opposite direction. So just reverse build this bit here. And up in this area, you see there's no bit here because there's no room for anything to go there. I don't know why that's even there. But that's just, I guess, a little fill-in area. But as you can see, you're going to just pretty much, if I pop these up, once these are painted, it is a little difficult to pry these off. But these are just the side pieces, as you can see, on General Grievous. And all you're going to do is just take those, pop these big planks on, and you're all ready to go. These are just little claws bits as well, and this whole back section is an attachment point, a whole new piece. So this piece here, this whole section here is all new. So you'll have to put that on yourself right there. And hopefully this is making sense, because it's not a whole lot you can be doing differently with this leg. It's just simply adding a new piece there, adding a new piece there, spinning this around so this attachment's this way, hooking these bits on to the side, filling out that leg, and besides that, that's the leg. Is there anything else I should cover? So pretty much what I see else, because I am looking at a picture of Grievous here just to see exactly what I've done here, is this bits here was hooked down here, and that's been moved up to this spot. So that's been rearranged. And I think something actually did go here, but I did pop these all off and recoat them in the sealant because the paint was chipping off, so I had to repaint these and seal them back up. So I'm pretty sure I missed something to go here. But besides that, that's the leg all done. And yeah, so let's move on to the body, and I'll show you how the whole body hooks together. And hopefully this is helping you to figure out how to do this. And now we're going to take a look at King Ghidorah's body here. And again, for attaching the tail, it's very simple to attach the tail here, because on the Grievous body, it's a point right there. So you're just going to take the tail, piece, and just plug it in there. But I will show how this whole tail is assembled here. And it's pretty simple attach points here, but I will show that off so you can see exactly the different hooks that attach. These are doubles at the end here, so you get the tail hooked onto that end of joint there. And I have glued this in here because these pop off really easy, so I just glued them in there so they're nice and secured and they ain't going to go anywhere. So you can see all of that down there, and this is the end tip where the two connects. And so you can see that these could use some extra tightening bits, but since I don't have any, there's none there. But I do recommend, if you do this, if you have the extra, put some tightening bits there. And the tightening bits are these right here. And you're going to need a lot of these for this build. You're probably going to need 20 to 40 of these. That's probably a little too many, but I like always making sure I have enough. It's better to have extra than not enough. So I would say about 30, maybe 25 of these at the least. But you definitely need a lot of these, especially when it comes to the wings and the heads, because you need a lot of these friction tight pins to hold all the weight of Ghidorah together. So we'll just put those back on there, and these parts will come with Grievous when you get them. And so here's again looking at that end tip there on how the tails divide part connect right there. And there's another tight bit right there, because you're definitely going to need that to help support this whole two tails that are going on there. And here's the top of it. You're also going to need a lot of these spikes. Even I don't have enough spikes. You can see that there's no spikes here because I don't have enough spikes to even finish him here. And still need to find some more spikes for me to put in there. But again, these have all been painted. And pretty much what I just put these outside, paint them, pop these off. And they're really hard to get up once you get them painted and put back on. So just be careful with that. So there is the tail. And hopefully, again, this is helping with building this guy. This is a pretty simple construction here, and there's that. So with the tail out of the way, we'll put that over there, and we'll go into the body. The wings will be the last things, because they're pretty simple how to do. So we'll get here on the body here, and the body was a little tricky for me to figure out. And he does kind of a hunchback because of him being Grievous, his inner workings here. So that's a little different in that. So what I'm going to show, I guess we'll go to the back side here, and I'll start popping some of this stuff off. So also these fabrics are being held in by these connection points. So if I pop this off, you can see that this is folded in, and when you do attach the fabric here, this is just a fleece. I don't recommend using fleece. This is pretty bad stuff. I recommend using more fabric material. I just used red because that's what I had available at the time, and I couldn't get any more, go to the store or anything. But you can pick some better material up at Hobby Lobby and make the wings out of gold. You could do a yellow for the wings or gold. I just had red available, so that's what I used. So I'll pop that off just so you can see the inner workings of Ghidorah's back here. So hopefully you'll be able to see how this all works. And again, you can pause the video so you can get a better look at how this all is working in here. But I will do my best to show you exactly how this all is attached here. And these bits are what attaches to the back of the legs. These are, because you need these 2 points with the leg attachment. And here's the inner side of Ghidorah in there. And a lot of this is just part of Grievous as well. And then you have this back point. I'll try to pop this off. Yeah. So there you have that. And I'll lift this up so you can see the whole inner workings right in there. And I'll flip it, don't worry, once we're done with the back here, we'll flip it around to the front so you can also see how that all works on the inside there. So hopefully this will help with the whole build for your Ghidorah build. Alright, so there's all of that inner workings, and there you go for that inner area. Hopefully that works. And again, since most of this is going to be part of the Grievous, it's not going to be a whole lot you need to change there, but just thought you should get a look, especially, you know, this back area. So there's that. I don't know exactly, I'm also showing that just because I don't know how much I changed on this guy, on Ghidorah here, but there's all that, and you can see it's all floppy now. Oh boy. And right before we go to the front, I do want to show this. So this bit here, alright, is what you're going to be attaching this whole back section to. So once you plug, once you plug this in here, it's going to just sit into these 2 holes here. So that's just going to go in like that, and just, it's going to hold just like that. So it's going to be in there at that angle, but it's going to hold just fine. So don't worry about it. And now we're going to come to the chest of Ghidorah here, and getting these 3 heads to work was a little bit tricky to figure out. So very quickly, where Grievous's arms originally attach, that's this piece right here, is just the wing. So that's pretty simple. And we'll move on to look at the wing, of course, in a second. But let's get in here, because there is something you'll need to do to get the 3 heads to actually work in here. So we'll take off this big chest piece here, which does come from the Lego Chima Gorilla. And I was thinking about picking up maybe another one of those Chima Gorillas up and making it a King Kong, which he works pretty good, I think, for Kong. So I might end up doing that. But that's the big chest piece all painted up right there. And then, so this bit here is also where the Grievous's second arms go, and these are just going to be turned and attached to this point, and that's really all that holds this in there. It's just these points here. So I'll just show you those pieces. Nothing really too difficult with these. You just clip those on there, turn them, clip the big chest on piece there, boom, done. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pop off some more parts here just to show you how this whole area works. So I'll pop off. It feels like coming off. Okay, there we go. So here is this bit right there, and how that all hooks together. And this is going to go around that slot. And this is the bottom section of Grievous's chest. So this bit has been, so originally, actually, this piece here on Grievous is just like this. So all you do is take this piece, because this piece, just imagine this here, all you do is take that and move it down. Alright, that's pretty much all you do. Well, no, not exactly. So Grievous's head would be here, and all you do is spin it, the piece, and flip it and hook it there. So let me just, it's just really hard to get these parts off, so hopefully I'm making a lot of sense here. So here is, let's get that back section really tabbed in there. Come on, there we go. There we go. Okay, so here is this piece here, and when you build Grievous, it'll be pretty obvious what this part is. It goes like that, it goes up here like that, and this is, you can see Grievous's chest area. All I've done is taken it, spun it this way, and plugged it in right down there, and there's that whole segment there. But what I'm going to need to show you is this, because you will have to glue this if you want this better secured, which is what I did here. So there is a little bit, I guess you'd call cheating involved in this, but since I'm not going to be taking this apart or anything, I don't really see the reason why I should have glued it, because that's what I did. So what we've got here is the 3 points for Ghidorah's head, and I also added super glue to these ball joints to make them tighter, because holding those 3 necks, you know, is a lot of weight there, and it just needs the extra tension. And again, not having any more of these friction pins available, I had to just improvise there. So this whole section here, I pop out these ball joints, which we'll just pretend they're not there because it's deglued and it's tight. This whole section here, if I pop up the back plate here, right there, and you do get some of these with the Kong, with the Lego King Ghidorah. Let me look at the picture just to make sure I'm not giving not the correct information. Yeah, you did get some of these. Okay. So what you can do, this is what I did to figure out how to get the head here attached. So here is the neck, these two parts here. Sorry about that, everyone. My recorder decided to die on me there, but we're back now. So I'll show this again, this whole back section here, and pretty much if we pop this off, there we go. So this is its own piece, which I put on right there. At least I'm pretty sure it is. But what you're pretty much going to do is what I did. Is this whole assembly here is completely different from what it is originally. So this whole piece here, I can show it actually. So this right here, I'll pop off these. Alright, there we go. Just to give you a better... So to actually show you. So this part is on Grievous, and this is right here, alright, when you build Grievous. And his arms are going to be attached to these points, which you can see if I turn them this way, you can see how that would work. These points here would be clipped here. You're going to want to take that, alright, and what I did was I spun this around, but since I glued it here, and there's a good reason why I glued this here, is because once you take these bits off from these points, this whole piece has no structural support anymore because there's nothing actually attached there. So this whole thing just wants to flop around. And this has a little bit of flop right there, but that's actually fine because it does give a little bit for the wings. But the main problem is this whole point here was so floppy because there's no actual way that I could figure out how to support this strut, this whole beam here from this hook point. So I just ended up just gluing that in. So what you're going to want to do is you could put glue there, or if you can find up a smarter way yourself to do that. But I just recommend super gluing that bad boy in there, making it nice and secure so it's all good to go. Especially if you don't plan to reuse this and just have an awesome King Ghidorah. So just spin that around, and when you spin that around, let me pop this back out. So when you spin that around, it's going to be facing this direction, and once it's facing that direction, that's where your heads are going to go. So you're going to have two heads, one right there, let me get this ball on, one there, and the other one right here. Alright, and that's how that, and then you're just going to take this back piece and plunk it right there, and we'll get all this back reassembled here. And I'm just going to show you some extra parts that, you'll need. So these big pieces here, some more claws here, that kind of just helps fill in some gaps. And we'll just come back here again and resecure this. So just, hopefully, this all makes sense. Just resecure that there. That holds in pretty well. Just with all this filling around, it's kind of flopping. So here is this piece. Don't know where this piece goes. Oh, right, it goes up here. So you want to take this, and there's again what it looks like, and just flop it in right here. Alright, I got it again. Taking it apart and reassembling it is tricky sometimes, but I figured it out. So this is just going to plug in there, and it is going to rest on this bit, but it'll be fine. You just take it, plug it in there, boom, you're all ready to go. And then you just turn these, take the big chest plunk, plug it in there, plug it in on the other side, and the chest is all there, and kind of just have to fiddle around with it. Oops, exactly how you want it. And then just pop this back cover right here, and there we go. So now we're going to move on to the wings. Now for the wings, this is pretty a simple tutorial on how I did the wings here, but I'll first show you the wings fully here so you can see the different types of connections that I used. Hopefully it's kind of dark, but there's that piece there. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, so it's a really long one. And you can see up here, and you can see all the different tight joints, because this really needs it, because this is a really big piece. A lot of weight there. Then you have some claws here, and I'll show that, how that's just clipped right there. So it's just one of these little bits there, and you're just going to take some of these and hook it up there, and just flip it in, just like that. And there you go for that. And there's the end tip with this bone structure. And this bit has also been painted. This was originally brown, so I just painted it black so it matched the underside better. Some little claws down there. And so the way this is attached is again, it's just clipped in here. So it's just like that, and then so I just fold it over, find the area, and clip it down, and boom, all ready to go. And I also took a little hot glue and tipped it on each one of these, so this is all held in like that, so it doesn't come unattached. So that's how that's been attached, and it's been done that here. So it's just hot glue that this is just holding onto. So it's a little bit of hot glue, and then that folds it down there. So how to actually make the wing? So first off, you have to make it out of, the skeleton. So once you get the skeleton done, then you can move on to the wing. So what I did was I took the skeletal structure here, and all I did was I first traced the outline of it on the top, just like that, all the length. Alright, so make sure if you need to tape extra paper together, you can do that. So that's what I did, and then once you get it to the curve that you want, then you just go whoop, whoop. And you also want to make sure the wing's fully stretched out when you do this, and then you do another whoop. So here is a rough shape of how the wing is, so you can see that. So what I did from this point is I cut it out, and once I cut it out, I put it over this. So I'll cut this out and show you exactly what I did. So once you have your wing cut out, then you just put it on your fabric that you're going to use, and then trace it out. I used a black marker, though I don't really recommend it. If you have a pencil, I used to have one, but it's a, I don't really know what it's called, but it's a pencil, but this bit here is white. It's a white tip, so you draw it on something like this, it's going to show up white, so that's a lot better. And it does work with pencil as well. I will show that. So the pencil line does work. Actually, it works pretty fine. So, white, or just a pencil, or a marker. Probably pencil would be the best, but it depends on material, of course. But for this is just fleece, so that works just fine. So all I did was I traced it, boom, 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 and then I used my fabric cutting scissors, which I wrote, so you will need those to cut it out, because fabric cutting scissors are really nice when it comes to cutting fabric. You don't want to use just regular scissors. They don't work at all. So that is pretty much how the wing has been built right there. And from that, we'll move on to the heads. And here we are with the heads. And they're pretty simple on how they are built here. So I'll just show it off here. And with the eyes here, I just took a red permanent marker and colored it. And did a line through. Actually, that's not what I did. That's what I did do at first. But then I went, nah, I'll use paint. So I used Citadel red paint and just did a dab around the eye there and colored it. And so I just painted the whole head gold, and I just roughly decided where the eye should be, and decided where exactly the eye should have been, should go, and I painted right there. So hopefully that what I just said made sense. So I just painted that there, and the teeth got a little bit of gold on them, unfortunately, but I just used some tape to cover the teeth up. But there's probably a way better way to do that. But that's all I did when I painted the whole head gold there. And there's the underneath of the head. Very shiny gold I used. I used a very shiny gold there. You can see all the spikes running down there. And there's the underneath of the neck. And again, tight joints running, at least these two. And holds the neck pretty well together. I don't use a whole lot of these just because it extends the neck even longer. And that makes the neck look a little weird when it comes to the whole look that is here. And so there is the head. And for the spikes on the, pop the head off here. For these, I just used a hot glue stick. And I did this again before I spray painted the whole head. So you want to make sure you attach these spikes here before you spray paint. So I just put these in here. And these are also from the new Binoculars. So everything in this King Ghidorah build is from new Binocular parts, Lego Chima, the new types of build bricks, none of the old Binocular stuff. So make sure you have the new pieces. You can use some of the old parts for some of the simple things, but again, newer parts is definitely what you need. But again, all I did was I took hot glue, put it in both sides here, and I put these in here carefully and made them as even as possible to each other. They're not exactly perfect, but when you're looking at it from side to side, it doesn't really see all that well. And the jaw, you do lose that click when you paint it, but it does still hold just fine. So that is the heads there. You go with that. So there is the heads, and they just repeat 3 times. They're all the same length. No head is different in length. So there is all of that. All done there. Okay. And very quickly, I do want to show that the heads just pop on to those points there, just, an extra help, just to show you, how that all hooks together. And once they're attached, they work pretty well. And very quickly, this is what I use to seal King Ghidorah up, and this is what I use to seal all my custom painted stuff, and that's this right here. It's really good, it works really well, and dries decently quick, but this is what I use. I just spray it on. Or even paint it on. I spray in a little can, and then I can paint it on for smaller figures that can't really be spray painted and left outside. So it works really well. Make sure if you do it inside, make sure it's nice and open there, like in the garage, or make sure the window's open. But yeah, this is what I use to seal Ghidorah up, and it works pretty good. And so there's that. And this has been my how to build King Ghidorah. And I've really had to pull back the camera really far just to get him in shot here, because he's a big boy. You can see all my Pokemon over there. Hi guys! But, and I hope this has been helpful on how to build this guy. And I'm sorry I couldn't really show a step-by-step on how to build him. I just don't have the pieces to build another one. And because you pretty much build General Grievous, which is the main bulk of the whole build inside there, step-by-step wasn't really necessary, because you'll be following those directions when you build that General Grievous. So you just have to switch some parts out, and that's what I showed you. And so hopefully this video has helped you with building your own King Ghidorah. And if you have any questions, anything that you may need help with, let me know down below. And there you go. Okay. Alright, so I'll see you all in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Until have a great day, and goodbye, everybody.